I'm wondering now, as we discussed much in detail, like the concept and so on, now the music, what I notice is that this album is less meditarian, and there are less clean vocals than Alice wants. So I'm wondering, what's the drastic change of music direction, and how do you think in general, like the sound has developed during 30 years of Orphaned Land?
Well, when we released All Is One, I thought that I want to let go growlings. We even declared that in All Is One there will be no growlings at all. And then there was one song that I had to growl, which is called Fail. It's about politicians. And when we came to do this album, I always wanted to express more my clean vocals, because I think that I have a lot of abilities to do with my vocal. And I can play a lot from a very low range to a high range, a very Middle Eastern style to a very dark 80s Gothic style. So I wanted to reflect all these influences in my vocals. Then I realized that growling is an amazing way to express yourself. So I thought that I want to bring back the growlings in the last album, and I think that there is room for clean vocals and for growlings and for everything. I think that the latest album is definitely the deepest concept album that we ever did, and taking my vocals, I think it's the most diverse vocals I've ever did with the band. And I feel that there is room for everything, for all kinds of vocals, including growling. So I thought that I would give it up in All Is One, but I just love it too much.
And I must say, like, well, I know the band only from Alice One, and then I went on listening on some prophets, and I was like, whoa, you're growling. I was so amazed about it. I didn't know you had in it because I never listened to the old ones, but I thought it was really a nice change from the other album. It was fresh, something different, and it was an amazing album. Like,
thank you. Thank you very much. We put a lot of efforts in it, and I always liked growling. We asked Tompa from At the Gates to growl with me in the last song of the album, which is the song where the guys on the cave, they kill the hero. And Thomas from At the Gates, Tompa, he was always one of my favorite growlers. I was a fan of At the Gates when I was a teenager. And it's amazing to have him singing with me. So growlings are here to stay, for sure.
Amazing.
And as we speak about albums and heavy albums, which one you consider your heaviest album?
Heaviest?
Yeah. I would say Mabul.
I think that the one after Mabul, called The Never-Ending Way of All Warrior, is the heaviest album. I mean, you can always find 5 different bands with Orphaned Land, because you can take the ballads from the band and you can make a band full of ballads. Then you can take the heavy stuff and you can make a death metal band. I think that in All Warrior, the growlings are the heaviest, fastest, and I would say this is the heaviest album we did. Even though it was mixed by Steven Wilson from Porcupine Tree, some of the songs are really heavy in this album.
Yeah, but it's, I think, also the aggression and the topic you want to discuss, like the anger that is, and so on, and the underlying emotions, the cave, and so on. It fits it very well.
Thank you. I think that I really love to express anger, growlings, and I really love to express feeling and heart with clean vocals. And we have a lot of comments, even if you go through the YouTube clips, songs like Brother or Let the Truth Be Known from All Is One, and even songs from Unsung Prophets. So you always see that a lot of the comments are people saying that they had tears in their eyes, and it's really cool to see that metal music succeeds to touch in that way. And I think that we have both. lots of feelings and emotions, alongside with anger and rage. With the
Certainly.
growlings, and having this both, I think it's the best way. It's what I personally love in metal music. I would love the way Opeth is doing that, and many other bands. It could be Moonspell or any band that combine the clean vocal and the growlings. I would always love that.
Ooh. And as we speak about bands, you mentioned bands. How you start to listen to metal?
How did I start to listen to metal?
Yeah.
So basically, I was a teenager in my city, and back in the days, I was listening to poppy stuff like Michael Jackson. I mean, I was maybe 14 years old, and the soundtrack of the movie Dirty Dancing?
Never watched it.
Yes, I think yes.
Don't try it anyway. But I was there listening to these kind of things.
Okay.
And then there was an article on the newspaper in Israel, and the story said that they suspect that a soldier in the army, he committed suicide because he was listening to a mystic satanic band. And there was he put the cover of Number of the Beast of Iron Maiden. I cannot say this article was catching my brain. I don't know how to describe it. I felt that I have to check the phrasing mystic rock band. That was the phrasing. And I was so curious to understand what is the meaning of a mystic rock band. I really have to discover what is the meaning. And I remember I traveled to Tel Aviv, took a bus, and I bought a cassette. I bought a cassette of Iron Maiden's Seventh Son of Seventh Son. And that was the first album I've ever listened to.
Oh, okay.
And it was a life-changing experience. I felt that I'm changing. The moment I've listened to it, it is still my most favorite album of all times, up until this moment.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, then I moved to Metallica, then I moved to Slayer, and then you move to more extreme stuff. You want it faster. So you start to discover grindcore, like the oldest albums of Napalm Death and Carcass, and you start to listen to brutal stuff like Cannibal Corpse. You explore everything, and then you discover doom metal. You go all the way back to slower kind of rhythms. So then you discover Gothic of Paradise Lost was like, whoa. Make it really melodic, and then so you go all the way to extreme, and then you go all the way back. And then you take it more slow to My Dying Bride, first albums, and Cathedral, who was with the vocalist who used to be in Napalm Death in the past. So you explore everything: the fast, the slow, the melodic, the fat, the brutal. And then you realize that you find yourself in all these elements and aspects, and very fast you are a metalhead, and your hair grow long, and your shirts go black, and your jeans go ripped, and your parents think that you should go to a shrink, and but then they realize that you are okay and everything is fine, and
metal is good and all will be okay.
It's a way of living. It's a way of living. We know it because you can see. I can see you from miles.
In a country like yours, like Israel, is, strange.
Yeah, and you metal has something very special in it because you can see a metalhead from miles away.
Yeah, we're all over black.
I can see from 200 meters that both of you are wearing black and some kind of a t-shirt of a band, and I can say these guys are metalheads. And no one can say it about jazz music, I think. I think the only music you can recognize the people is hip-hop, maybe. Because hip-hop and metal, it's like a way of living. It's like a culture in a way. I think it's a culture. when you meet metalheads from all over the world, you feel that they are your brothers and sisters. And I am proud to say in every interview that I'm doing that I think that statistically, the amount of violence, etc., in metal events are always lower than other events. I think there is more violence in mainstream events.
Yeah.
Than hip-hop events. I think that metal heads are the most peaceful culture and community in the music world and anywhere. So I'm proud to be a metalhead.
I agree.
So we are proud metalheads because of this.
Yes. Cool. So, Kobi, I know I read the interviews, I read some stuff that you like football, eh? You love football.
I used to play football a lot when I was a teenager.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
until I discovered metal music, I used to play a lot of football, and then I didn't care about anything other than metal. I quit football. I also used to be a surf. I used to go to the beach and surf.
Okay.
I let go everything. I only cared about metal music when I discovered it. So, but yeah, my city has a football team. It's a small one, a very unsuccessful team.
Which one?
It's Maccabi Yafo. Maccabi Yafo. And it's so Yafo, it's the city that I live. It's a small suburb like a town in Tel Aviv. And yeah, it's the team was never so good, but you grew up loving this team. And the team died a few years ago when we and the fans revived the team. I was the spokesman of the team for the first year. I quit. I didn't want to do it anymore because football always get wrong aggressions out of you. You can fight with your own football team fans, and I think football really takes everything that ugly about men. Football takes it out.
Yes.
So,
with your own brother, with your own father, you can fight. And,
no, I one time heard. Of course, Nick, you as a Greek, you know about the history of Turkey and Greece, Bulgaria, and these kind of things. And there was once a football match in Turkey between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. One of the fans, he said, I can't forget it. He said, I prefer that my daughter is a Turk. He said, I prefer that my daughter will marry a Greek rather than to marry the fan of the other team. And then you realize the stupidity of men in one sentence. So I love football very much, but I take it in the right proportion because you can find photos of me sitting on a fence like this, cursing the players of the other team. Yes. And then you look at yourself and you're saying, whoa, I have to relax.
Let's go. I know football is like that. And because we speak about football nowadays, you know, there is the Euro of 2020, even it's 2021. Did you have any chance to watch any matches? And do you have any favorites?
No, I have to tell you the truth. I didn't watch it because football is less interesting for me today. I was really into football in the past, but today I put it aside. I'm a father to a 2 years old small kid, daughter, and I am fully occupied being a father, working with Orphaned Land, struggling with the COVID. So I even disconnected the TV from my home, so I don't have a TV. Because of news and all the bullshit, I didn't want to have TV in my house. So the center of my house, there is a gramophone with vinyls, and I listen to music. That's all.
And speaking about your dedication and so on, I know you were quite busy with the symphony orchestra to celebrate the 30 years of Orphaned Land. So can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, we celebrated 30 years. It's amazing that 30 years have passed and I'm having a band for such a long time. when we celebrated the 20th anniversary, we had a very big show in Israel with a lot of guests, from Steven Wilson to a lot of Israeli local guests. And we thought that for the 30 years, we should do something really big. And combining metal music with classic orchestra have always been a great idea. It's always worked out well for black metal bands, for Metallica, for folk metal from Finland, or I think it's always great to do that. And we had decided to do it with a group of 45 people on stage. And for the first time in our history, we put the metal music in it's called Eichal Tarbut, which is the biggest Hall of Fame cultural venue. I mean, if you played in this venue, it's a lot of respect. And for the first time, we put metal music in this place. Everyone was wearing black in this place where everyone are usually coming with suits and tuxedos. and that was everyone was so proud that we succeeded to do it. And we were so proud because we are working for 30 years and it took us 30 years to do it. It was a great experience. And we had recorded and filmed this concert. Mm-hmm. So I hope that next year it will turn out to be a live album. Mm-hmm. And with a bonus DVD. So we also had a lot of footage. Mm-hmm. We streamed the show for the fans of us who support us in our Patreon page. And it was an amazing experience, unforgettable. 2,500 people came to see our show, which is a world record for us.
Wow.
For an Israeli, for a Middle Eastern band, it was so huge. The place sounded like a volcano. I mean, when the crowd was working with us, it sounded like a stadium of football, Nick. I mean, it was like football. And it was a great feeling. And I really feel that we put our career in a very new level. And I can't wait for you all to hear this album and watch this DVD.
Certainly, I can't wait. And it's also something for us. We are sitting at home and there are like orchestra, everything is happening. I was like, whoa. But then the thought as well, it's a great idea to hear it like next year. Great.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, it was great playing in front of a full venue because COVID was just a few weeks. I mean, Israel is COVID free. No, this is not the situation in many other places. Mm-hmm. When we scheduled the show, we had a limit to bring only 1,000 people for the show, and we sold 1,000 tickets in 1 week. And then everything got free, so we were very lucky to play in front of a full house, like it was pre-COVID, like it was before the COVID. I mean, we are now in this era that concerts before these shows. Played another show in April. They allow us only 600 people. And before that, we had 15 months that we didn't play a show at all. We didn't do nothing for 15 months. We didn't even meet the band members because we couldn't play and we had to struggle these COVID restrictions and stuff. So it's unbelievable to be back. And it's a very hopeful sight to tell also you people that things will get better. Probably at some point, even in Dublin or anywhere, because the human spirit is stronger than that, and people need music as food, so it will be okay.
Yeah,
of course. We need live concerts.
Yes.
Cool. Kobi, can you describe the situation at this moment after the last events with the bombings and stuff?
I mean, the situation in Israel, Arabs, Israelis. The situation is not so good, I would say, and it was never that great because otherwise we would live together. Yeah. As far as it goes with me, we are okay. Of course, we toured with the Palestinian band, and when we toured with the Palestinian band, both bands declared, look. The Israelis and Palestinians cannot live in the same land we are living in a tour bus together, drinking coffee together, eating breakfast together, on a bus, not in a city, not in a land, not in a country. If we do it on a bus, do us a favor, succeed, try to do it in your home. But obviously people are trapped in so many problems and history. And history is very complex.
Yeah.
Because it's a history of wars. People died, people lost their homes, people have been murdered both sides. And it's very hard. And the hardest thing in this latest event was that it came to a new level of hatred, where people inside of Israel are lynching each other. I think that more than 10 synagogues were burned in Israel by Arabs, and Israel bombed Gaza, and children died again in Gaza, and also a kid died in Israel, and it really feels not so good. People are trying to keep the hope, and people are trying to maintain this hope, but the situation, I feel like it's always go back.
Yeah.
Of course, we keep a very good sense of hope, but I think these days less Israeli people visit the business of Arabs. Everybody is boycotting each other, and I mean, when the days go by, it's getting better. But I don't know what will happen next time. What will be next time? How will next time look like? And we definitely need better leaders in both sides. And I think that better leaders will maybe get us out of the cave of Plato, or they will die. But I don't have a good feeling about the future, because I'm a father these days, and I feel that the people have a lot of anger in our generation about so many reasons. It could be even personal reasons, and I feel that people want to, I don't know, violence is stronger than it used to be in the past. The youth is more violent. Everything is more violent, and I don't know. We need an extreme change, I think, in our education system. So I'm a man of hope, but I'm turning 46. I will be 46 years old very soon. So I'm not naive as I used to be when I was 16 years old, when I started the band. When I started the band, I was sure I will change the Middle East. I will completely change it. And we succeeded to do a lot of wonders, but you see that these are even worse in some aspects.
Yeah, you can't take it out of system. And now I'm wondering, because you started also the peace series, so I'm wondering, can you tell us about it? Because you worked, you joined forces by Israel, Palestine, and Arabs. So can you tell us more?
Yeah, so basically this peace series is a vinyl that was just released now. It's a split vinyl. So one side you can find songs of Orphaned Land from Israel, and the other side you can find songs of Khalas, who are a Palestinian band, and it's the band that I told you that we toured with. So it's a band that we lived with them on a bus, and we toured all over Europe. And because of what happened, we had decided now to release this vinyl and to tell our point of view of how we think that our nations should behave, because this is what we can do. I am not a politician. I'm not a prime minister. I can only make music. I can only release vinyls and say again, look, we are Israelis and Palestinians. We toured together. We released a vinyl together. We're saying a very simple thing. The Israelis and the Arabs are historically brothers. Both Israelis and Arabs agree that the Israelis and Arabs are historically brothers. They are the descendants of Abraham. And brothers should not fight, this is mine and not yours. Brothers say, what's mine is yours. This is what brothers are saying. So this is the message that we're carrying with this new vinyl. It's a great release, and it's rare to see Israelis and Palestinians working together these days. So this is, again, the spark of life that we are sending out from the Middle East.
Cool.
Great. So let's move to a happier topic.
Yes.
We have discussed the heavy stuff. So you toured with Blind Guardian with Hansi, from which we know, of course, of Blind Guardian. So I wonder how this tour came together and how was the experience?
Well, first of all, we've been to this festival in Brazil at one point, and we sat in the dining room with all the bands just eating dinner, and then one guy came to our table, introduced himself as a fan of ours. That was Marcus Sippen, the guitarist from Blind Guardian, and we were like, whoa. Are you a fan of Orphaned Land, really? And he said, yeah, my wife introduced me to your music, she's Brazilian, and I was completely shocked. And then we became huge friends because he was so humble, and he was such a great human being, coming, talking with us, and became good friends. And he really recommended the management and the band, Blind Guardian, to take us with them on tour. And it happened eventually, and it was a great experience because they had a lot of fans all over Europe. Some shows were in front of 6,000 people, or 4,000 people, or 2,000 people. We gained a lot of fans, and it was a great experience. And they really liked our music, and like you said, Hansi, who is such a great singer.
Yeah.
And we took him to sing the chorus in our song Like Orpheus, in Unsung Prophets and Dead Messiahs. And as you know, probably maybe you know, Nick, Orpheus in Greek mythology, he was a great singer.
Yes.
He was such a good singer that the earth opened from his songs, and it went all the way down to hell. But I thought that Hansi is such a good singer that he is the modern Orpheus.
Okay.
So singing in Like Orpheus was a great idea to put Hansi to sing the chorus. Of course, it's a big honor for him to sing with us. So in the same album, you see, we spoke about melodic singing and about aggressive singing. So in the same album, we have Tompa from At the Gates, and we have Hansi from Blind Guardian in the same album.
Great. And it's amazing. It's amazing because I thought Blind Guardian is the bigger band, but seeing how music connects us all, and it's an amazing story.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
Let's see. We have Panagiotis from Greece. Since I listened to the band from the very beginning, I would like to ask about the new concept direction they plan to follow.
Okay. It's a very tough question because after Unsung Prophets and Dead Messiahs, who went to the concept and direction of the allegory of Plato, I don't succeed to find yet the next concept. Anytime I tried to find the next concept, I always thought that I should write about the fact that I am very desperate from the Middle Eastern people and from the way we do not succeed to create peace. But we always used to be a band with the message of hope. So I'm still struggling the idea if I should write about desperation, despite the fact that we always deal with hope. And I cannot find the answer yet. So the band asked me also all the time, let's write a new album, let's make some new stuff. And I say to them, I don't have anything. I am so frustrated about humanity that I don't have anything. And
Oh.
But it's always like this. Almost after every album, you are afraid that maybe you don't have anything else yet to bring. And I hope that something will come to my mind and we will do something. But for the moment, it's empty. Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this maybe can answer the question from Aevum, the Italian band. So what Kobi think about the future music songs, the album like those we listen till now, they will continue to exist? Or band they will just produce for playlist and streaming platforms?
I don't know. You know, I think that the world is going mainstream all the time. I mean, a band like Baby Metal is more bigger than Orphaned Land.
Baby Metal.
So I am very loyal to what we are doing, and I am very happy with what we are doing because I think it's. I think that when Baby Metal will disappear from history, Orphaned Land will still be there because of the, I don't know, the complexity or the message or the data that in these songs. But I feel that the music business is going really, really on ways that I do not know. And Orphaned Land always wrote concept albums, so I cannot see how Orphaned Land is just writing or releasing single songs for playlists and stuff like that. This is not Orphaned Land, because in 99% of the band, we always did conceptual albums, which is a big story in a 60, 70 minutes of one story. So when it comes to Orphaned Land, I believe that we will stay like this and we will not be single songwriters, never.
So do you have any plans for touring?
We have a 30th anniversary tour that is scheduled for next year. I hope that it will happen.
Yes.
The dates are published already, and I hope that nothing will change because we didn't tour since 2019, I think. Okay. And so it will be 3 years without touring, and we will celebrate the 30th anniversary on the 31st year. So this is the plan. We are supposed to have a few festivals this year and next year, and I hope that COVID will be behind us and we will be back to normal life and normal touring life and stuff like that. We miss our fans and we miss playing everywhere in the world. So I really hope that it will be back soon.
Yeah, we hope
so. That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
But I think you have Dublin on the list, huh?
Sure. Of course. Anywhere they book us, we will come.
Let's hope they book us to Dublin. Speaking of touring and music, let's introduce our surprise guest. Hey, Lucille.
Hello, Lucille.
I'm Lucille, and I'm the singer of the Italian band Aevum, and we had a chance to do the European tour with Orphaned Land in 2018, if that's correct. And it's really a honor for me to be here as a surprise guest. I'm here to, poke you guys.